Hey folks. Yeah, something different today. This is not a wood lathe, by the way, but I have used it to turn wooden bases for candlesticks and various things. You can get away with it with this piece. It's a nice little piece to have. Is it ideal? No. Does it have the speed you need? No. Does it have a giant center rest to do some kind of a spindle? No, you can't do a spindle. You can't do a bowl. You can do a wooden base, and that's kind of pushing it. So we unplugged the machine. Obviously, there's the plug. Yeah, we'll just test it, make sure it's not on. Okay, that's good. We're going to change this jaw out. I think I remember how to do it. It's been a while. Bear with me. Let's see if we can do this. See if we can change this jaw out. Okay. Can't remember which one fits this. Oh, first you got to take that little doohickey retainer out, which is the flathead. I think we can handle that. I think we can handle that. Hope so. I think I'll kick this down to the members, the paid members at first, and then we'll kick this down to the other folks. Boy, that's really dusty in there. Let's get some of that schmutz off of there. And a good thing, make sure it's unplugged. You don't want to turn this thing on while your hand's in there. That would be devastating. Okay, now we can kind of see what's going on. I think we got to hold this notch. The machine came with a little tool. I can't find it though. I didn't see it in the tool thing. So let's see. Can we grab one of these? Yeah, that might work. And I can't remember if this is right or left-hand thread. Let's look at this one that goes on here. It looks like... Right, it would spin in that way, which is this way. Okay, so it is threaded clockwise. Okay. So let's get this chuck key in here, and maybe we can just kind of... Oh, we gotta do it the other way, don't we? Yeah, we gotta hold it this way. This is gonna be fun. Okay, I'm gonna hold this. And I'm just going to gently whack on this. I know it's not the best thing for it, but here we go. Ow. Yeah, this thing's been on a while. And this tool isn't the greatest. Let's try that one. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's a little better. Maybe we'll put a bar on this instead of jamming it with the... Yeah, let's put a bar on here. Sure there's no spiders in there. Okay, let's see what's happening. Maybe we can, we're gonna have to... Oh, look, it came off. That little impact is, look at that. That impact was enough to jar it loose. Maybe I'll put some grease on that in the future so we can get it off. We don't want this to fall on our noggin. Here, let me move this. Yeah, I can just unthread it now. Now, I have a 4-jaw chuck for this. It's kind of hardcore, but it does thread on. And, ooh, look at all the goodies in there. Oh, goodies. Yeah, while we have this out, we'll probably blow it all out and lube it. It needs it. Put this down here. Yeah, I have this giant 4-jaw chuck. And I'll show it to you, but it is hardcore, man. It is not for the faint of heart. I'm afraid to even put it on here, really. It's so big and burly and so heavy for this lathe, but it does have the adapter, and I do have the jaws for it. It's quite dirty. We might want to clean that out too. While we're at it, just take stock of what we got. Anyway, let's put a little bit dab of grease on here and then put the wood turning item on. Actually, it's not really for wood, it's for metal, but We're gonna fake it a little, you know. It's good. This grease will probably come flying off here when it's hot. It'll be great. That's probably too much. Okay, let's just make sure that's a little more even. All right, looks pretty good in there. And we'll thread this on. Oh yeah, baby. Okay. Good to have the machine off. Okay. I'm just gonna give that a little whack. And we'll make sure we don't turn it backwards, that's all. I mean, we could tighten that up, but I think we're going to be okay. We're going to be running it the correct way, that it doesn't spin off. And it'll have this little holder on here. Maybe we should whack that a little. What do you guys think? Yeah. Maybe we could hold it. Oh, that's not the right one. Maybe we could hold it and put something in here and give it a little whack. I think it's on there. It's going to be spinning this way anyway. I think we're okay. Yeah, famous last words. Just things spin off with a piece of wood on it. As long as I don't run it backwards, I think we're going to be okay. All right, let's find this. This was kind of tricky. I probably should have bolted the piece of wood on here first. I didn't think about that. Yeah. I think we got to put the piece of wood on first, or we can come in and fasten it here. Yeah, I think we're all right. We might have to take this back off. I'm glad I didn't like pound it on there. Okay, so it's on. And I guess we could plug it in and test it. Let's give it a little whirl. Always stand off to the side. Okay, it's questionable whether we can bolt the piece of wood on there with that on. I think we can reach in like this and put the screws in. All right, let's see. Let's go over to this piece of wood. Don't mind all these bikes in my way. And we're gonna cut this one in half. It's maple. We were thinking about doubling this up and turning them both at once, but I don't think that's gonna work. Anyway, let's cut this in half, and then we'll nip these edges off, and we'll either put both or one in there to get the circle down to what I want. And oh, this has got a crack. Let's take a quick look and see if we got anything better. That's not so crack-a-lacka. Crack-a-lacka. Yeah, that's a little smaller. That's a little smaller. That's kind of, well, we're only going to get one out of that. Still, though, that would be kind of, be a nice pattern to kind of get in there. I think I'll chop a bit of that off and put it on there. It's a little less going on there. And, I mean, we could make a smaller one. We got plenty of room here. Yeah, let's chop. See, is that going to be enough? Yeah, I think we're going to chop this one and bolt it on, and I'll get back to you. So I'm going to shut you off for a minute. And yeah, this isn't the normal fare, but you know, we got to keep the members happy. They need to know what I'm doing at all times. Okay, we nip this off with the jigsaw, and I think that's the side I want to show. So we're going to kind of bolt this on. And don't worry, I've done this before with mixed results. and it was some lighter wood as well. I think it was poplar or pine. And what we're going to do is, I think we're going to pre-drill a little bit into this, not all the way through. We'll keep them kind of centered. Guess we could put this one in first. This is the oddball one. Oh, we're going to need bigger washers. Wow. Didn't think about that. Maybe not. Yeah. A bigger washer would be good. Yeah. Give me a second. Okay, we got some Mobus big washers. I think they call these fender washers. I think they do. Okay, let's see here. One oddball screw, and we got one of these. See how far that's going to go down. And that's not enough. Let's see, is this enough? That's not enough. Yeah, I think that'll work on that one. I did pre-drill a little bit. I don't want to crack the walnut. Let's get a bit for that. Now, when I chuck this up, I'm going to be standing to the side, folks. Way to the side. We'll let it run a few minutes, and I'll be standing over there by the bikes. You know, I'll be way over there. Let's see, these are longer. Let's get an idea of what's happening here. That's a little too long. Let's put another flat. Maybe I should get the right screws. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Yeah. If I hit the screws while I'm turning it, that's going to be a problem. If I do, I'll stop and take that screw out and deal with it. Well, I could just put another washer on it too. Let's see what's going on there. 3 washers? Yeah, I'll definitely be standing to the side, folks. Yeah. I think that's going to be okay. Put the final on that in a second. Let's get this other one. Seemed to be that the magic number was 3 washers, 2 washers, 3 washers, and a bolt. That seemed to be the magic number, and this fender washer. Let's just make sure. Yeah, I could live with that. That's only 2 washers, though. Did you count them? There's 3. Let's make absolutely sure we don't need this thing flying off of there. We did pre-drill a little bit. Like I say, I don't want to crack this. Oh, that didn't really tighten up. Okay. Let's take a couple washers off. Okay, executive decision. We are going to put 4 more with these fairly robust screws towards the outside and go from there. Be nice to have the correct Phillips bit on there. That one is a bit too small. we made the executive decision that more is better. Oh, that's nice and tight. Okay. What do we got here? Fender washer, small washer, robust screw. Yeah, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. You know, that's what you get when you have to use the wrong tool for the job. Yes, what we need is a wood lathe. We don't have a wood lathe. We have a lathe, but it's not for wood. But it's going to be. Yeah, it's a lot of work to get, you know, we're making a pedestal base candlestick, and I'm not even worried about welding the metal part of it. I'm worried about making the base. Okay, so let's chuck it up and see what happens. Hope we got the right side on this. Yeah, that's the side I want. And hopefully we won't have to weld some special right angle bit or something ridiculous. We'll put all these bikes in the way. Oh, ridiculous. All right. Turn this light on real quick. Okay, let's chuck this on, and we'll give it a little test spin, and I'll be way over there. I'm not going to get anywhere near this thing until it's spun for a minute or so. Yeah, we're not standing in line with this when I turn it on. Put it that way. We're going to be way over there. Turn it on and run. Okay. I think we're okay there. Where's my little, here's the little retainer. And it goes in right there. That should be interesting. If we can get it in there. My grandfather used to have this little screwdriver. Really cool. I'm sure you guys have one. It like spreads apart and actually holds the screw. So you don't have to have your hand on it. It's like the screwdriver part is actually two prongs that spread apart and catch the screw. And I remember when he was using that, he was taking some fitting off of a refrigerator to recharge it. He was a refrigeration person. And he was taking some screw way off somewhere, and he was telling me, I was probably about 10 or 11. He was like, this screwdriver is going to save us hours, John. And what do you mean? Well, I'd have to take this whole panel apart to get this little screw that holds the fitting so I can recharge this. It would take hours. But with this screwdriver, I can get the screw out. I just can't get it back in. And he had this long screwdriver, and there was these two parts of it that caught the screw. I remember him having that. I don't have one, but I've seen them. I think Craftsman makes it. You guys know. Some of you watching have one of those screwdrivers. Okay, that's pretty lumpy. That's a bit on the lumpy side. Yeah, it just barely clears here. Okay, this is going to be interesting. All right, what I think I'll do is I'll set you guys up. I'll even put the camera out of range here. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the lathe. And then I'm going to turn it on. And then I'm going to stand way over there. And you guys are going to stand way back here. And we'll let this sucker spin. Let's make sure it's on low. Oh yeah, that was on the higher setting. Yeah, we're going to change this to the ultimate, the lowest setting I have on here. Yeah, that was on a higher setting. That would have been a problem. Well, we would have known for sure right away. So we'll change it to this lower cog. We'll change it to this cog. We'll put the clutch back on. And that's the lowest setting. And on that setting, there actually is a feature. If it catches or something happens on that lower setting, it will stop the lathe. But in the higher settings, it won't. It's really nice, huh? Just like a safety clutch or something. Okay, let's put you over here. Okay, you guys good there? You feel safe? I feel pretty safe. Fairly safe. Okay. All right, sonny boy. That's kind of lumpy. All right, clutch is on. I'm going to unplug it and turn it on, and then I'm going to plug it in over here. I know I said that, but said it again. Okay, power's off. That's on. Okay, here we go. And here we go. Oh, what happened there? Oh, oops. I unplugged the lathe. Hang on. That was anticlimactic. Let me plug the lathe back into the power strip. You guys are like, whoa, that was really exciting, dude. I forgot to pay the rent. Okay, now we're going to plug in the power strip. You guys ready? Okay. Well, looks like it's okay. I don't see anything flying off yet. Woohoo! Heck, we could even put that on the higher speed, man. No, not really. Okay, so now we're going to do some more doofus stuff. We're going to use a wood bit and see if we can get this to the outboard position. It's going to be interesting. I might have to come up with some kind of special holder or right angle thing. I think I used to have one I welded. If we have to weld something, I might be able to use this one. Man, these things are greasy. Good Lord. Let me get a rag. I might have to use this one. See, this one's got the built-in angle. Pretty sure I'm going to have to use that. And even if these metal bits are dull, it will cut into the wood. And we might have to run it at a higher RPM. I'd much rather keep it at this safer RPM. Man, this thing is really dirty. I did clean it up a little bit today. I knew there was a video coming. Got to spruce things up when you're going to do a video. You know, do your hair, put on some clean clothes, you know, shave. Okay, this is taking forever. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to use the right angle. Or we might even have to take this and unbolt it and put it there. Yeah, I forget how to do that, but right, it unbolts. There's 2 bolts under here, and you move it to this next peg. We'd have to blow this out with compressed air. I think that's probably what's going to happen. There's just not enough room on this. In fact, that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I think those are 10 millimeter. Okay, let me put you on time lapse. I'll blow this out or dig that out, and we'll move this to there. There's just no way I can tell that it's not going to be close enough. It's been a while since I've used this for this purpose. there's no way. Yeah, we're at the end right here. We can't even touch to this outer edge. Okay. All right. Plan B. Plan C. All right. Let me get a wrench and I'll put you on time lapse. Okay, this should be very interesting. Much more interesting than those silly bike videos. Okay, we're gonna turn it on. I think yeah, let me get my earmuffs. Okay, using a 9x20 lathe for a wood lathe. Not recommended. So I'm going to turn it on around here and then I'm going to walk around. I'm not going to reach over like that. This is pretty close. We got a little red mark. We'll see if I probably should file this a little rounder. This is going to be a little while. Okay, here we go. You saw it here first. As you can see, it's going to be a while. I might come in here with something and cut these off a little. Yeah, it's going to be a while. It's not even hitting the second lobe. Oh, it is hitting the second lobe a little bit right here. Yeah, thinking of it as a camshaft. It's hitting here and it's hitting there. Not there yet. Yeah. Also, I have to tip this a little bit different. Because I'm not getting the full, I'm not being able to go over there the whole way. And we can't have that. It's a lot of work. I'm kind of afraid to go the whole way because this is, yeah, I would hit there. Yeah, that's not good. Until I get it rounder, I can't bring the carriage over that far. I can only bring it over about there. So I think what we're going to have to do is get some of this rounder another way, like with a, no, I don't know, I hate to use a zip disc on wood, but with some other device, chop these a little rounder. Anyway, I'll get back to you in a second. As you can see, this is taking a long time, but this is not a wood lathe, so this is what you get. Right now we've got 3 flats, which is better than like 4. There is this one area here that's getting pretty good. I kind of like the way that looks there. Now, when we get this round, I'll do some scalloping and doodieing, and this will be flat with a big indentation to catch the wax from the candle. And right now, the chunking you're hearing is here at that belt sander burn mark, and here. And it's getting close. Once it gets round, this will go very quickly. But until it's round, we got to take it easy on the feed rates and stuff like that. All right, let's. I'll show you some more progress in a minute. You know, should you turn a maple round on your 9x20 metal lathe? Probably not. I don't recommend this, and it's dicey, but it is working. I mean, one thing we got going for us, maple is softer than metal usually, and we can take some decent cuts. And I don't think I'm worried about this coming off here now. We haven't hit any screws yet. We can see that the closest one is about right here. So we'll have to be careful when we get to there. I think I'll take the indentation out in the middle there to catch the wax. That's kind of the design I'm doing. Okay, let's keep going. I'll kick you back on when we have some actual progress to show. The reason I had to do it that way is because I ruined this tailstock a long time ago. I could not find a replacement. It only moves, this only moves about 1.5 inches, so you have to set it, push it, set it, you know. Yeah, it's messed up. Good luck finding parts for a central machinery 9x20. I did see one on eBay for parts. They wanted $500 for the whole machine. It was kind of a bummer. Anyway, I mean, this was like 900 new. So throw me a freaking bone here. Anyway, we got, you know, it's round. I don't want to get in and get that little flap off yet. If I do, I run the risk of uncentering this, you know, it hitting. We can get that off with an X-Acto or something. We've got a hole there now in the center. That's good. And what we're going to do now is kind of just do a rough face. And then I got to figure out what the design looks like. But that's how thick it's going to be. And that's how round it's going to be. And we should be able to put like a, you know, at least 1.5 foot, 1/4 inch rod with a candle on it. Something like this maybe. I don't know. I don't know yet. Somehow we'll get that going on or something. Yeah, we're doing good. Okay, see you in a second. Okay, yeah. It's a basic round shape. It's very rough. It is round. I said earlier it was maple. I made a mistake. It is walnut. And I love that little V pattern in there. That's good. So I think what I'm going to do is come in here in clearance real deep, like right in here. You know, a nice trough. And then I'll have to do a lot of hand sanding to make that happen. Right now I could just, you know, sand it with the palm sander and it'd be beautiful. But I want this little trough in here, and I want to avoid these screws, which are about here, and I want to avoid these screws, which are there. So I'm going to put a trough like right here. I'm just going to eyeball it. If I hit a screw, I'll know. Anyway, see you in a minute. Okay, that's about as far as we're going to take it on this lathe. Yeah, we're going to do a lot of hand sanding now. I could spin it at a higher speed, but I might try to get this edge off a little bit too. I'll try to do that. I could spin this at a higher speed to smooth it out, but man, if you've ever had one of these come off here, well, you know, it's not a wood lathe, and I can't take that chance, you know, having 8 screws holding this on and no steady rest. You know, there's a steady rest down there. That's for metal. This is for metal. Yeah, that's about as far as we're going to take this. I'll make a part 2. I'll sand this up, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn something like this. I'll turn this down to be exactly this diameter, or maybe a little less, and that will hold the candlestick, and then it'll give the illusion like there's metal floating on walnut, because we all know that metal is lighter than walnut, right? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. This is a members only video, but I will kick it down later. And yeah, we took something like this. We started with something like this, although I can't really use that one. I'm glad I didn't use this big one. And we got a nice little base, and we should sand it up once we'll sand it. We'll get the palm sander out, you know. Now you can sand it in place, you know, you can put some sandpaper on this and do it, but it's dangerous. This is not a wood lathe, okay? We gotta quit while we're ahead on this, yeah. Or you'll call me stubby. Okay, tune in for the live feed tomorrow night, 6:30. We'll probably work on this bike because people have voted on this. Last time I checked, it was 4-1. So unless you want me to work on this, that's great. Otherwise, we'll work on the fleet, which is down there. But you got to vote. So, oh, well, there's only 8 members, so I guess, oh, eight people could vote, right? Okay, check out the live feed. As always, be safe. Don't do anything dangerous, you know. I was fairly safe here. Yeah. And what a mess. But you know what? This is good because all this sawdust, it will soak up all the oily, messy oil you put on a metal lathe to make it run. But we will definitely have to do some cleaning here. It's a sacrifice, you know. You really gotta want it. Anyway, we'll fan that up, and I'll do a part 2. It'll be a nice little candlestick. It'll be expensive though. All this work. Okay, you guys be good. Do. Yeah.